train wreck to spin fire. The NFT and LLSR. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From meme coins to tokens.
Good morning, guys.
He's got
Man, oh man.
intel.
Jared and I just geeking out over this monogrid. Man, oh. I mean, check this out. Oh, color grid. He has a monogrid collection too, right?
Yeah, Monogrid was the OG.
Dude, like incredible. All of his work incredible. Well, hopefully we can touch on that because I think we want to get a little Tezzy at some point here. But man, his work's incredible. This, from talking about, and it is kind of a theme of this show, art kind of maybe looking like it's going to bounce back here. I'm looking for indicators, and this is one that rolled across the timeline. Yesterday, was this sale yesterday, the secondary sale?
That's when I picked it up.
You got this is yours?
No, not me. This is Canvas. No. When it hit my timeline, sorry, my news. I wish I was Canvas. I have not splashed around as much money as this individual.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, what a piece. It's just funny, man, because like I see the timeline and it's people boo-hooing about this a little bit. I get it, man. It's not fun to look at that, but you know, I said this morning on my morning update, I see this now and I don't care. I don't care at all. I don't care when price is down. I think we all, if you're still in this space, if you survive the bear market and you're still here, it's because you got conviction. And so this number here, Bitcoin at 66,000, ETH at 35, whatever Tez is at, which under $1 or so, it's like you don't care because you know where this is heading. And I think there's no doubt. I think conviction is, man, stronger than ever across the board here.
I think it comes down to perspective, right? And what's your duration? Because I think directionally up and to the right is correct. I pay for it, but I'm a part of like a certain groups, and then we're talking about it, right? Like it's like the directionally it's up and to the right. Like that's where we're headed. And this is just a little bit of white noise. And when you really start to, if you take a little time segment, there's a lot of volatility, but you zoom out enough. Post halvening is an exciting time, and if you can weather it and you're not over leveraged and or like overexposed, you know, you got enough to cover your day-to-day expenses, like it should historically, not financial advice, be very favorable. I mean, it's I'm excited. Like I was talking in Collector's Corner Premium, I was talking about taking out a few USDC loans out against some of the assets I have in order to like jump into the market right now, because I just think it's a really great time.
Patience is definitely rewarded in this space. Okay, so let's set the stage real quick. Like, just so excited to talk about art. Art collector here for years at this point. I think you guys who watched know this. Jared's same, but Jared works in this space. He works in the art scene with artists on his own project. So maybe to set the stage, we're going to talk about, again, indicators that maybe the art market is coming back. And I'll tell you this, kind of like with Bitcoin and price of crypto, don't care. I just enjoy that it's feeling fresh, that people are talking about it, that there's new outputs to look at. You know, it's feeling alive. So that is mostly the topic here while we have Jared here for the next maybe 20-ish minutes or so. But dude, would you like to introduce yourself? You are my first ever guest on this show, which is wild. It's a newish show, like 6 weeks in, but dude, I'm thrilled to have you here. Again, art is just about my favorite thing in the space. I couldn't think of a more perfect person to come on and talk us through art and what's happening out there. So if you would like to introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, I'm extremely honored. Thank you so much for even allowing me to be on, and then to be the first guest is incredible, honestly. Online, you can find me, as you see up on the screen, Jared_pause, POZ. I'm founder of two things that are 8NAP branded. One is 8NAP Digital Asset Fund. So if you love art and you don't want to deal with all the day-to-day tracking and investing, I have an investment fund where we focus on digital art, solely digital art, nothing else. And then 8NAP Art, so 8NAP.art, and that is it's a new platform. Honestly, it's an artist forward platform where we focus on giving artists the resources that they need to level up their careers. Kind of like the way Y Combinator is a startup accelerator, I want to be an artist accelerator, right? Taking those pieces or taking the artists and giving them the tools to succeed.
Can I ask a dumb question? You probably will hear a lot of those here, but I like to be like nothing's off limits. Like the dumber the questions, sometimes the better, right? But when you say digital art, is it can it be any digital art, or is this all NFT art because that just makes sense for
Blockchain art
blockchain art?
specifically.
Okay. All right. Pretty cool. Yeah, wasn't exactly sure there. Man, you even had a nice collection drop at this point. What, maybe about a month ago? Was it even that long?
423, so a little over a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Geez, time's flying. And it did really well. It's like a tricky time in the market to actually release kind of anything. Like, just, I mean, we're seeing everybody going crazy over meme coins and shit coins over on Solana, and of course the ordinals ecosystem, and now runes. You know, that seems to be everybody's focus. But you guys were pretty darn brave dropping some new art in this market. And again, I think it was, first off, gorgeous.
Yeah, so Isometro is the first one. It's by Rich Poole and Rick Crane, I think, who are two incredible artists. They've collabed on, ironically, to continue the theme of Tezos today. Asekia is their probably more notable, but Miniscapes is also their first collab over on Tez. This one is, a lesson learned for me is like when you click into these are like really, really amazing pieces in a larger format. Like there's just so much detail. I think they suffer from mobile, but not in a bad way. And it's just so much creative detail. Like you get in there and you get to see just the beauty of the different lane changes, the details. You can see like a pool with a chair there. There's ones with like skateboard ramps. I mean, it's just like it's so incredible. You just for me, and I'm a big fan of storytelling. I get lost in these details. But yeah, so we, rather than throwing a ton of product to the market, we're firm believers of quality over quantity. So we're going to try to work with the artists and put out really quality art.
You have more drops coming this year too?
Yeah, the next one is going to be Delta Sauce. So his follow-up to Views. I don't know if the name of the collection is official yet, so I don't necessarily want to be the one to drop it, but super excited. That's going to be in August, and I'm working with a couple one-of-one type artists to release a variety of things within the space. And then the other one programmed out for 2024 is Corey Haber, who, if you haven't heard of Corey Haber, incredible artist who I think is grossly underrated in this space. Does a great job. He literally made his own 3D printers so he could like make physical representations with like paint, acrylic, and other things that are representations of his like digital art. So we're gonna do some fun and innovative stuff there too.
That's so cool. I love getting physicals in the mix here too, man. Yeah, dude, super cool. Send me afterwards or whenever. Send me a link to Corey's profile if you don't mind. Doesn't have to be right now, but I'd love to throw it up on screen. If not, like during this show, like tomorrow, whenever, just to drop it for people watching. Man, let's get into some art that's happening right now. Again, looking for indicators and just feeling out what's happening in the market. It's feeling pretty damn alive. There's a big auction going on over at Christie's right now. So beyond the screen, this was mostly only on my radar because of this sense block, which I thought was, I don't know, super cool. I've been pretty deep in the Ordinals ecosystem. I like the Sense collection. But like as I was clicking through, it dawned on me, I'm like, it's more than just one piece. Holy cow, it's a whole lot. There's like 20 pieces here, and it's some pretty significant stuff here that's all catching bids. I mean, really, really impressive. Oh my God. Die with the most likes has a $30,000 bid on this. Wow. Again, I'm looking to see if people are starting to want, like, are they feeling like they can shop? Are people finally liquid? Are people comfortable now, again, shopping for art? It kind of feels like they are. It's wild.
I think my observation is there's some that are like liquid, but for the most part, I think a lot of us are either close to maxed out or, very conservative with the liquidity. I really look forward to like a.
By the way, I just want to mention real quick, I got kids all over too. Like, don't never worry about kid noise and having to like, you know what I mean? Like, casual here.
Yeah, they're supposed to be out in the playroom, and of course they came over and they're hanging out here.
I always try to get my kids to pop on and say hi. They won't do it, but I'm gonna get them on here one of these days. Good morning, sir. Oh my God, what's up, bro?
Can you wave?
Welcome to the show, buddy. Man, so cool. Does he like? Kind of curious. Like, your kids like art? Do they look at the stuff? I imagine you have it hanging all over your house.
So my wife's a minimalist, so the irony is like we have no art on the house.
The
But
digital's
yeah,
good for
actually,
you.
this is a family affair. Like it's been really fun. Like my kids help me select art. So now largely Tezos art, right? Like because we're not just off spending a ton of money, but every once in a while we'll peruse object or FX hash for like whatever the most current stuff is, and then um we'll buy some stuff. So yeah, like my oldest kid's favorite color is red. My youngest is yellow. So you'll see a very common theme of lots of red and yellows.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I had my kids. So my kids have some Tezos art too. Nothing, man, nothing as cool as I was hoping. We've all got collections of these like, what were they? Crypto unicorns. They were from FX Hash. It was one of the first like 10K PFPs over there, and we just went crazy minting those things. But Tezos is a perfect place I always said for people new to NFTs to like, dip your toes in, to feel it out, just get a feel for the market, but also to learn art. Like Tezos is really where I cut my teeth. Not just the
Yeah,
trading side, but understanding art, like really starting to unlock what the process was, what it meant, what artists were actually doing, why collectors like value this stuff and truthfully love
it's
it.
really hard to navigate Tezos art too. I mean, and like so, like when you say cut your teeth, like in order to discover stuff. But I've just digging through people's wallets, and I mean, it's actually how I found Patrick Amadon and a few others. Was like just being like, wow, that's dope. Like, who has that? Like, why do they have it? So yeah, I love Tezos art.
Dude, a ton of
Anyways, back
fun.
to the auction.
Well,
There's some really great pieces. I'm really surprised by this die with the most likes for 30K in a positive way, meaning some of these Beef Brothco pieces were, given away at Marfa last year. I'm not saying every single one's going to get 30K, but, really, really encouraging in my opinion on, for some of those who have like followed die and early collectors of the work and the physicals. But I mean, crazy. That was the one that surprised me the most in a good way, right? Like it's just very, very positive for the market.
yeah, again, just keep looking for these indicators. So he also had a collection that minted just a couple weeks ago. I can't recall the platform. I'm trying to find a link to it as well,
It
but
was through Glitch Marfa, and it was done on the
that's
Art
it.
Blocks engine. So it was why am I drawing a blank on the name of it? It's the something dread.
This is funny. Like I do a decent amount of prep before these shows, and I get links to everything. And this is one that like I absolutely wanted to show. I think I cut out half my notes somewhere. Like these links are just gone.
I
But
think it's
yeah, I mean,
Nameless Dread is what I have to. I'm going off memory.
oh, actually here it is. Yeah, no, that was it. It was awesome. I mean, that was one of my first indicators. The first big ones where I'm like, holy shit, a collection. Sorry, kids around us. Yeah. Holy cow, a collection minted out like at 0.2, which is not nothing. Like it's a
Nope.
pretty good number to mint out a collection. And then on secondary, up to 0.4-ish or so, maybe even 0.5%, like really, really healthy secondary market. That's what kind of told me, okay, I was feeling art like after we saw the run on X copies earlier this year, like just a major run on X copy art. Seeing that, it didn't translate into much, and I knew it's just kind of usually just a matter of time. This is what told me maybe we're here. Maybe we're at this point where people are kind of ready to collect again. At least the really great stuff, which this man has
It's
been a grinder for years,
not only a grinder, but like just a genuinely like good human being. Like a little bit like niche with like the approach and the art, but overall, he leans into the memes. The thing that I really love is he knows who he is, and he's been really great about engaging with all levels of collectors. Right? I mean, there's more I'll call it large scale collectors who are like big supporters, but there's also collectors at a very fundamental level who are just fascinated with his work.
He's wild. There's nobody that looks like him. Like there's nobody. And again, I learned of him through Tezos years ago too. It's just Tezos seems to be where I've learned of like I don't want to say most of the artists making noise right now because that's not true. But it's again at least where I learned. It's like my circle of artists that I collect, who are all doing so well now at this point. But I learned of him there. He's always been true to himself. He has not cared. He's just made his kind of art. He's been like just very faithful to his style and his kind of method. And it's just such wild stuff. I mean, come on. It's awesome to see that kind of stuff have success because I think early on he didn't see it, if we're talking about, the market itself. Like people collected it. It was cool. It was a little different and wild, but didn't have like the mass appeal that it has now. And that's a testament to him just working and grinding and putting it in front of people. Like it resonates with people.
Well, and I think there's a marketplace for this, right? Like meaning like William Apon's first release is on Tezos, right? Kim Asendorf's was on Tezos. Like it's a low risk playground for people to like really enjoy like putting their art out there and feeling like what the market has to say in response to their work. It's just it's such a powerful place.
So that's funny. I didn't realize Kim's first mint was over on Tezos. Was that like I'm trying to think of which collection that was. There was like the
Monogrid.
1,000 books. Monogrid was the first one. So that was prior to the FX Hash collections.
Yeah, so that's on
Okay.
Object, like Object OBJKT
Okay.
is
Got
like
it.
one of the first places, the only place to get it actually. It hasn't been, rolled up into FX House because it wasn't released there.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. It's just like I didn't realize so many of these artists, again, who are so significant, they got their start in a way. I'm sure they were creating well before, but they got their start in NFTs possibly over on Tezos. It's a super important ecosystem, and I'm really glad something's changing over there. I mean, guys, we again, I think you guys know I love collecting art. I love collecting on Tezos. It's been a bummer the past year, maybe even a little longer, like feeling like the air is out of the tires and not sure if it was going to make it back in. Like if they get filled up again, again, just tricky, but it's the art market as a whole. It's just, it's been a rough stretch. In fact, trying to think back of the last time art was really cooking, like was the meta. But anyway, point there is it's really nice to see some life breathed back in that Tezos ecosystem. I once thought, and it was pretty recent, that it is over for Tezos. Not now, but within a few years, I did not see any kind of path for them to kind of regain what they had. I do now. All of a sudden. There's definitely some life there. They brought in some people from the community. They brought in artists who, again, are very community focused, and they're now on the Tezos team, which is incredible. So yeah, making a lot of great moves. And we also saw last week they're partnered with the World of Women. So that collection, I think they're world famous at this point, right? You know them from Ethereum early. It's an OG collection. They're now building on Tezos through. I think it's, what is it, Etherlink, or it's like this EVM L2.
Yeah, I forget the mechanism, but I think that to me, it's the thing that FX Hash had was a really great like indie community. It reminded me of like in like a I don't want to call it like grunge, but like this like indie rock type of environment where people could like really nerd out on things. And when the attention went away from art, like it suffered, right? But there's still these really great builders there. And I still believe that like great art is great art. I have a core philosophy that at the end of the day, nobody's going to be like, nobody goes like, oh, did you get your Warhol at this gallery? Like nobody really cares, right? Like, oh, how dare you? It's just a Warhol and everybody's stoked with it. So I think
Yeah.
the same will persist. At least that's my investing thesis right now.
Dude, such a great that's a great way to put it. So another mint. This is actually, I think this kind of technically started yesterday. There's a public mint aspect to this today
Correct.
too. But again, just something to be watching for. I'm always looking for like my barometer for different sectors of the market. This is a barometer for me for the art market, just like those Christie's auctions were. And again, they looked awesome. Those sales are pretty nice looking. This a brand new mint, a relatively large collection. But Red Bull's Velocity Series 2, I believe, is this the first mint in the new series? I feel like it is.
So the Velocity Pass it was really cool because they're in Series 2. Series 1, I think, had 4 artists. It was Rick Ostertag, it was Snowfro, Jack Butcher, and Perkworks. So this is Series 2. They're carrying it on. What was really cool was these poker chip ones. I was listening to a Spaces yesterday with Galid. He's the artist behind Archetypes, which is it's one of the bigger art blocks curated sets. But he was talking about this and like how he went through a whole new algorithm to get these poker chips. So it's 4,000 pieces. The reason why I brought up the pass is the first 2,000 were airdropped to the pass holders. So the first 2,000 went to the pass holders. The last 2,000 are available for public mint, which is really, really interesting. So that's the poker chip ones. And then the, why am I drawing a blank on the other one with the gears on it? There's 377 of those. And those will be, I think, like you said, Dutch auction, but they represent the 377 races that have been in F1. So the Red Bull Racing Series.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like he's a very thoughtful artist in, definitely, giving it his all to make sure that these show up and show out.
Dude, they're beautiful. Can you say his name again? I never knew how to pronounce it.
So I learned on the spaces the first time, like I mispronounced his first name. So I always say Kettle Golid, and that is definitely not it. But Golid is definitely the last name.
Okay. All right, good. Wait, take a stab at the first name again. I just want to hear it one more time.
I say Kettle,
Okay.
but it's way wrong. Like the proper pronunciation was.
I'm wondering, like, only because I used to be, well, still am a big fan of the band Sigur Rós, and the J I think usually has a Y sound, if it's even like, you know, the same phonetically, but Ketil Golid?
Yeah, I always say Golid for whatever reason.
All right. I got a weird name. My name's Hudah, so like I like different names, man. They're interesting to me. I always make everybody pronounce my name too when I go out in public, and I got to sign my name or somebody looks at my license, and they make me say it first, and I never will. I was like, you first, you get to mess it up, and then I'll tell you afterwards. But yeah, cool name.
Yeah, my last name, the pause is a derivation of my last name. It's we'll just say it's Ukrainian and comes with a lot of vowels.
I was going to ask you what that stood for, so that's cool. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So yeah, again, barometers, temperature checks, things that help me kind of measure the market. I am wondering still, is art coming back? This mint here, especially the smaller edition one, again, I think 377 editions. I think that was the number. Starting at 5 ETH, Dutch auction all the way down to 0.5. I cannot wait to see where it sells out. I mean, let's be honest, if it sells out, and I think it will, but if it does sell out, where does it sell out at? Again, this helps me just feel the health of this ecosystem. I am wondering if people are ready to collect. And then, of course, I want to watch on secondary what happens there. But again, just a lot of signs here that art is ready. In fact, guys, over the past few months, we didn't see many new mints. Jared's mint on his platform was one of the very few. And just the fact that we're having new mints coming up a little more often now, it is a sign, right? We saw an Art Blocks mint, in fact. Was it curated or was it their newer platform? I'm trying to remember, but we saw an Art Blocks mint, which I had said a while back. I'm like, we're not back. The NFT market isn't back until we start seeing Art Blocks mints. Well, we're starting to get them. Still, again, waiting for curated to happen. What's up, Elite? Dude, that killed me yesterday, the Fomer Simpson thing. I look way too much like him. But I also look like that Bitcoin dev guy, right? So it's just a redhead thing. It's the redhead and beard. We all look the same. I get it. Bunch of weirdos here. I don't know. By the way, great to see all you guys. Dub, I don't know if you're still here. Dude, I've seen you here maybe once. Dude. Great to see you. Awesome. Dude, Archivio, dude, I love. Dude, I saw him live, I think 3 times. In fact, one of the times it was awesome. I went up to Montreal, and I saw Pearl Jam and then Sigur Rós back-to-back. It was like one of the best 2-night stretches of my life. Incredible. I saw them in New York City in this little church. They played an acoustic set. It was like just absolutely stunning. I can't remember the third time. I saw them perform in Miami at a ballet. That was just awesome. I love that band. So, hell yeah. Welcome back, sir.
2-year-old meltdown.
Hey, dude. You know what's funny, dude? I miss that so much. I miss the meltdowns. Now I get 13, 17-year-old meltdowns, which
yeah,
is
you
not
get more
as cute.
attitudes.
Yeah, it ain't as fun, I'll tell you that.
No. Well, I think the final point I'll make, and then I got a duck if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
I'm really interested. I thought Glitch and Art Blocks did a phenomenal job with Die with the Most Likes of marketing and telling the story. And I think a lot of people have connected with the story. I'm curious to see if 2,000 pieces can mint out at 0.1. And like, I think that will be a true indication of the where the market's at. But to get exposure to Golid at 0.1, I think is, historically a very attractive price point. So, I think that there's something there, and I think it's exciting either way.
That's a really interesting point about the price point. After you're gone, I'm going to pull up his previous collections, and I want to show what those look like on secondary now, because they are there's something a little spicy here. So again, this is going to be well worth everybody's time as collectors, or if you're a speculator, whatevs. But as a collector, it's definitely interesting to watch, because that is a price point I don't think you often get access to his work. Jared, dude, thank you so much for joining. Like we've talked behind the scenes, you're welcome back anytime. I'm hoping, and I think it'll end up happening, that you'll be a regular here with some art updates for us. We'll work that out. I can't wait. But again, thank you so much for joining, man. Awesome first guest. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, no, and thank you for the time. I wish I had more time. I could just ramble on about art. We didn't even cover half the topics we talked about, but it's exciting times, and I'm very optimistic. You know, I get this gut feeling that there's more upside potential than downside risk at this point. Again, and that means it's an exciting time
Yep. Okay. I
to me,
love
at
that.
least.
I love that. All right. We're going to hit on the beanie takes here. I'm going to get you to chime in on that next week, but we'll see you, Jared. Thank you, sir.
Oh, Beanie's been one of my favorite follows lately. So yeah, I'd love to
Nice.
like chime in on these. These are gonna be
Oh,
a
man.
lot of fun. I'll be
Oh, my
listening.
goodness. Awesome stuff, man. Good luck over
All right,
there. See ya. We'll catch you next
bye.
week. Dude, awesome. He's such a cool dude. Met him through met him through the NFT live show and those awesome dudes, right? Like he would come on their show. I just always connect with I think the art community. I'm a collector. I love it. And of course, if I meet somebody working in the space and they'll give me the time of day, I'm not letting them go. I'm just not. It's an insight that I just need. And again, it's just some really great people. I think you guys all know we've met some of the best people. I mean, I'll tell you this. Over the past few years, I've met some of my favorite people I've ever come across. Just ever. This space just attracts them, right? I think we all have a lot of similar kind of goals and vision and all that stuff. But again, it's people in this art community. It's special. It's one of the things that made the Tezos ecosystem so special early on. It was the community. That was the magic of it. And it's guys like Jared. It's guys like that that just make it so much fun to hang out, to collect, to chat about the stuff, to just share it all together. And at the same time, it's great to be collecting stuff that, hey, in the future might do pretty well for you, you know? And if you're in it just to collect, which I'll tell you this, most of my stuff is that. I'm happy to hold all of this forever. Man, just what a treat, right? I'm going to look through some comments, but then, guys, let's get the freaking Beanie. Hang on. Where's Beanie's? I loved Beanie's comments, right? I don't even think they're that controversial, but dude just drops these spicy takes and people take the bait. And good on him. It's honestly a great take. It's honestly a great take. Let's see this. Seeing so many crypto and NFT guys dreaming of getting rich fast is like seeing a dude running into a brick wall face first over and over again. Yeah, man. That's pretty damn accurate. Yeah, dude. Spot on. It's very few people who get rich from crypto and NFTs, right? Very few. It's like, what would you guess, guys, percentage-wise? It's a small percentage that actually like make life-changing money. With that said, I always made a point like, okay, if you got in this space in 2020, 2021, I didn't know anybody who didn't make a decent amount. Again, not talking life-changing, but actually was in the profit. I did meet somebody. I don't know if he's here. I'm looking through the chat. I don't think he's here. I met somebody who's a buddy, who's like the first person I'd ever met that said he's been here since 2021 and is not in profit. I didn't realize that was even possible, but we're going to fix that one way or another for this man. But yeah, I mean, especially right now, dude, tricky market, everything down. People just, it feels like people are getting wrecked left and right. I even saw a tweet like from Pranksy earlier today. It's like it's in a bull market, and like, is anybody actually in profit? And in fact, let me find that tweet because it was actually kind of hits home. This is a very, very different kind of market right now. There it is. Has anyone had a successful bull market so far apart from Bitcoin maxis and meme coin speculators? I'm barely touching meme coins, guys. And I don't know if a Bitcoin maxi equals just Bitcoin or if that's also if that's also ordinals, right? Ordinals and runes. I'm not sure. I've done all right in ordinals, but I sold very little because I have such high hopes for it. I really do. My conviction for the Bitcoin ordinals ecosystem is it's 2020 and 2021 ETH NFTs. It is the exact same. It really is. It really is. I can't there's no hiding it. I think the exact same thing is going to happen. But with that said, we're talking bull market. We're seeing a lot of people, some people making a lot of money. It does feel like it's mostly in Solana with meme coins. And there's definitely some of that happening in base. There's some of that starting to happen in Blast, although I think Blast season's just about to kick off in a few weeks with TGE, right? That Blast token's going to rip. But it's this is a different kind of bull market. I'll tell you this, I don't really think the bull market is full. It is not fully started yet. I mean, we're in a bull market, but not till later this year and then next year. I think peak comes next year. I hope at that point all of you guys are doing really well. I really do hope so. And it's how I think it'll play out. I do. There you go. Hey, man. I think you're going to do pretty damn well with your dog. You got a nice bag of it too, man. That's awesome. It's like what, 5 or 6, like 5 or 6 allocations of it. It's a pretty solid drop, man. Yeah, I think you're going to do well with that. I think you're going to do well. Also, again, I want to get to that beanie comment, but now you got me wanting to peek at runes. God, that was so cool to talk art. So, like, honestly, I feel like it's coming. I don't even feel like it. I mean, again, the examples we pointed out show it is happening. There is some life to art right now. It's definitely happening. But I would love to get back to the point where there's art mints every day. And yes, with it comes the speculative stuff and people flipping in and out and gamifying it and all that, right? That comes with the territory. But that was fantastic. My absolute favorite pieces of art that I will never sell, like Toccata, right? Stuff like that I got during those times, during the peak craze. I love it. There's a lot of artists, I imagine. Actually, this will be cool to get Jared to speak on next week. But talking about artist processes, again, behind the scenes, we were talking about some artists. He has to line up artists, for next year. And I don't know if they're even booked out the year after, but man, it's a process to create this art. I think a lot of artists have been creating, like, notice how it's been very slow, right? Nobody's really releasing. That doesn't mean artists aren't working on art. And I think behind the scenes, they are working on art and they're getting ready for the right market to release it. So man, when this starts coming, when this starts cooking, when people start finding profits, and when you see profits, people are just, they're attracted to that. They're coming in. Then we start seeing some really, really wonderful work starting to come out. So I'm excited for that. Man, looking at runes, Dog Go to the Moon under $600 million market cap. I feel like that was up from this morning even. It was much lower. God damn, I need some jams. That's right. That's our rune anthem. Dude, Leonidas put out one of my favorite tweets of his this morning. I showed it on the morning show, but man, I really like Leonidas a lot. But yeah, runes, man, getting low. Smelling some opportunities here too. Man, there's a lot to be excited for. Honestly. Crypto down, runes down. I don't even look at BRC20s anymore, but BRC20s I'm assuming down. Everything down. This is opportunity time. That's what it is. Man, Epic up to $63 million market cap. I don't know who would be buying Epic right now. That doesn't feel smart. Guys, don't buy Epic right now. Do not buy Epic right now. Right? This is not the full supply. They're getting ready to drop, I don't know what percent. Let's just guess like 80, 90% of the supply. Like, I don't know if that number's right, but I'm just telling you, they're dropping like a huge chunk of the supply. Don't buy any Epic right now. If you're buying anything in that ecosystem, go buy blobs. Then you get snapshotted. But yeah, dude, just some great opportunities here. And the lower things like pups go, the lower it goes, man, just the spicier that opportunity gets. Decentralized at 38. Come on now. Come on now. Tempted me to go get some bags. Good Lord. Hey, nice. Oh, dude, that's so awesome, GMM. What a cool story. 500 to 700 a week is fan-freaking-tastic, man. Right? Here in the States, maybe that's more than side money. I mean, that's that can keep you going if you can do that. On top of maybe a part-time gig or something, man, that's it. That's awesome to hear you're doing well like that. Really cool. Really freaking cool. All right, to those Beanie comments, though, and I'd love to hear your guys' takes on this. Okay, Beanie, imagine thinking the art you bought during the insane bubble of 2021 will have any non-speculative value whatsoever. For that to happen, first they have to be good artists. Ooh, spicy, sir. They're not. Just opportunists, and digital art as a medium would have to be accepted. Not happening. Let's pick this apart a little bit, because I'm going to tell you, man, I don't fully disagree here. Okay, dude's a little edgy here, like, right? Little provocative with the wording of it, but also he's being honest, and there's a lot of truth to what he's saying here. I'll try to make this a little more, what's the right word? Friendlier, not so shitty, aggressive, nasty sounding. But again, he does that because it's great. It's entertainment. He gets a reaction. Totally worked. Guy's a master. Man, cool shit. Cool shit. All right, let's hit this. Okay. First off, was 2021, NFTs in 2021, Okay, we don't even need to dive into that. Was it a bubble? There's no denying that was a bubble. I kind of think that was a small bubble, though. Not very big. 2022 was a much bigger bubble. And that bubble, of course, exploded. We see that right here. This was the bubble. Here's 2021. That's why I don't really think... Well, no, I guess you could say it inflated. No, I'm wrong. It definitely inflated 2021. Yeah, totally wrong there. 2022 is when that bubble burst. And I'm telling you again, you guys know, I hate sounding like a broken record here, but I see the exact same thing happening again. This right here may be the start of bubble number 2, and I really do think it is. I do. I think Bitcoin all-time high, especially if Bitcoin gets up to 200, 300K, what if it gets to 500K, right? That is the craziest FOMO-inducing stuff. It's going to pull people back in. They're going to reinflate this bubble. Yes, in NFTs, and I think largely in the Bitcoin ecosystem. But I think this is coming again. And still, I think this right here is this. You just notice it's so much bigger. Does that mean that the bubble gets bigger? I think it might. I really think it might. Especially, guys, I'm getting a little kind of all over the place, but especially if ERC 404s, DN 404s become a much more normal thing. And God, I meant to ask Jared about this because the Velocity Pass is supposed to integrate, I thought, DN 404s. That is the token standard they chose. Was that just for the pass, or was that for the actual artworks? If it's for the artworks, if that's for the collections that dropped today, and those are actually DN 404s, we have a whole lot more to learn about this collection then all of a sudden, and the market itself. If we get killer, world-class generative art with a big brand behind it like Red Bull, partners like Bybit, right? If we get that, with the liquidity of fungible tokens, because that's what DN 404s bring you, you get the fungible token, you hold a certain balance, it mints you the NFT. If they're doing that in the collection, especially the collection minting today, this is going to tell us everything we need to know about the market. I hope that's the case. Okay, I've seen so little talk about it that I feel like this collection is not used in the DN 404s. But again, that was in their marketing. That absolutely was in their marketing. In fact, let me see if I can find it, because DN 404, I remember this. I remember OX Quid announcing that Red Bull Racing, that the Velocity series was using DN 404. Velocity. We're going to find this because this is actually a really, really big deal. If any of you guys happen to know too, I'm really, really curious, but I hope they didn't disappear this info because this was a thing. Maybe it was just the passes. Oh, I got to find this out. Again, I've seen no mention of this. But it was there early on. Guys, tell me I'm not crazy, right? That was part of the narrative here. I'm going to find it. Damn it, we're not leaving until I find this. What should I search? DN 404? Man, it was definitely a thing. Okay, while I'm searching, we can keep on the beanie point. DN 404. Let's try that. Dude, this will drive me nuts. Okay, yeah, here, yeah. Oh, it's the pass. God, I wish they made a bigger deal of that. I would love to see are people trading that? Are they trading the actual fungible token side to regenerate their passes? Man, I definitely got to dig in. I was really hoping, man, that the actual art collections were going to use the DN 404. That is what I've been waiting for. I always thought, imagine if Jack Butcher was releasing artwork using DN 404s or Snowfro or any of these guys. Imagine if you could just keep re-rolling and re-rolling and re-rolling. Imagine having access to liquidity because you got fungible tokens. Imagine what kind of cool little ecosystem you could build. This forever thing that rarity always changes. But you hit a grail, you keep buying, selling those tokens, you get a grail, and all of a sudden you're not selling anymore. Then there's no sell pressure on the token. Really good it's good for prices all around. I think there's something fascinating about the DN 404s, just like ERC 404s, just a different token standard. Technically not a token standard, but anyway, different. What do we even call it? Whatever. I was really hoping, man, that these collections were going to be DN 404s, and it seems like they're not. If not, missed opportunity. But hey, if the pass is, great start. And they have more drops coming, right? The Velocity Series 2, more drops coming. So hopefully some of those actually incorporate DN 404. I got to follow up on this, man. There should have been more noise about this, man. There should have been more. The collection should have been DN 404s. Now, if they're not, okay, maybe there's a chance they are. Okay. Back to the Beanster. Uncle Beanie. I love this guy. Okay. 2021 was a bubble. It was a bubble. Okay. So then on to his comment about these artists. He doesn't think our artists were good artists, right? Just opportunists. Okay, the man ain't wrong. No disrespect, but it's like anything else, right? It's like, okay, let's look at the celebrity meme coin thing. The celebrity meme coin thing attracted all these bullshit celebrities who are not here to do anything other than extract value. Hulk Hogan, I don't know if that was actually a scam where he got his account compromised or if that was actually him involved. But then you got like Soulja Boy and all this other shit, right? You attract that. But then you also attract an Iggy Azalea, who actually is here. You can say she grifts from this to that to whatever, but whatever. She's here actually doing something. She's doing more than any other celeb has come and done. So kind of the same thing happens with art. Here in the digital art space, the NFT art space, it's such an attractive thing. So you got everybody coming in. You got artists who maybe weren't as good as some of our top tier artists, whatever that even means, right? I don't think that even means anything, but you got all kinds of artists coming in. Yes, you got Fiverr caliber artists. Yes, you got world-class caliber artists, and you got everything in between. And opportunists, I don't know that that's a bad thing because I think we're all that. There's an opportunity. I think we all try taking advantage of any opportunity. The real point here is some of these artists, there's different kinds of artists, right? I felt this. I don't know if I can maybe put it in words perfectly, but there's people who come in this space, artists who come in this space, and you can feel they have like the soul of an artist, right? They're different. Like their whole being is about creating. And there's other people who I've definitely felt and collected from, and sometimes I would say more often than not stop supporting, where I can feel where there's people who are creating art to support themselves, but there's not a lot of soul in it, and there's not a lot of substance. There's just, I create art. I don't even know if some of these people are self-aware enough this sounds, I don't care. I don't know if some of them are self-aware enough to even kind of understand that there is a difference, like giving yourself completely to the art and to the actual craft. But there is a difference to some degree. Some people don't have the lifestyle to be able to do that even, right? So then it is a part-time hobby. It is just a little side thing you can do to make some money. At the same time, you are putting, you're putting yourself into it. But there is something to be said about this, that not artists are created equal. It's a talent thing. No athlete is created equal. There's some guys like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, who put everything into it, everything. And there's some guys who are just naturally talented and they show up and they perform well. There's other guys who just show up and they perform just well enough to stay in the NBA. Right? It's the same thing here in art. The exact same thing happened here. I guess the tricky thing is a lot of us bought all different levels of that art. So we got some of the world-class ones. We got some of the ones that were just here as tourists. We got some of the ones who are not giving it their everything, but got, natural God-given talent. We got it all. But man, there's a lot of supply now. There's a lot of this stuff that is never coming back. We're about to learn which of this stuff truly is historic when early on everything was historic. Everything was historic, right? That's just what we threw around. Just like projects, I'll say we're building. We're building. Everyone says we're building. We're building not a lot of anything of substance. A lot of this art wasn't historic. But some of this is. Make no mistake, some of the art that came out years ago is historic. Something like the Goose. It is because one person's willing to pay $5-6 million for it. All you need is a second person willing to pay that. Or maybe a third person willing to pay a little more. It's historic then. It is. That one for the moment, too. Oh, God, I would love to get into the Ringer controversy. When I started talking with Jared was actually when that Ringer controversy, if you guys aren't aware, it's interesting. But when that started making the rounds again, and I want to talk to Jared next week about the Ringer controversy. If you don't know, that Ringer collection by Dmitry Cherniak kind of borrowed, I hate to say it, but heavily influenced by other collections. Even the name, though, I mean, man, heavily heavily inspired by a collection that came out just a couple months before. Won't get deep into that right now because that's a whole other conversation. But point is, man, what a tangent. There is historic art that came out over the past few years. Just not much of it. To be honest, not much of it is. So, like, temper those expectations. It is more speculative than it is historic. And with that said, there is a special historic moment happening here in the art space. Not the pieces themselves, but the movement, what's happening. The legitimizing of digital art. The giving digital artists a way to actually make a living, to preserve their art. And the preservation of their art, the establishing provenance of it, is as important as the financial side, the making a living off of it. That part's great. It comes with it. It's awesome. But the real game changer here is the provenance of art. Think of the, what's his name? Dimitri, or no, what's his name? The Hearst guy. Whatever Hearst. I'm sorry, I'm being an idiot. But, right, there was a little controversy with his work a few weeks back, right? The little polka dot collection that people thought was supposed to have been minted or actually painted back in 2016. It wasn't. It was painted more recently. There's a good reason for it, too, by the way. He dates his things when the collection started, which I think is fair. It's a good explanation. But the blockchain would have made that a non-issue. It's on-chain. It's on-chain when it's on-chain. There's no disputing it. That's the beauty of this all, and that is what's making this historic. That's what's making this moment here in art historic, and it is. It is. It's just, again, how many of these pieces are historic? Not many. In fact, Damien Hirst. Thank you, sir. That was it. Damien Hirst. I would argue I hold no historic NFT art. None. I've got, I got a Rafik Anadol. It's not historic. It just is coming from a big artist, right? Beeple's works, historic. There you go. You want to look at historic? It's Beeple's works. Okay, now what about something like the Monument game? I should pull that up. Is the Monument game historic? Man, it's fucking phenomenal. But is it historic? I don't think so. Is it? Maybe it is. To me, this was a milestone for digital art. So the provenance on the blockchain, but digital art, the way this is like this cool little decentralized art project that you have the collectors actually involved in. I don't know if you could do this outside of this space. The blockchain is what's helping this actually happen. Otherwise, how do you organize people like this and do it online and do it across countries and time zones and stuff like that? The blockchain is helping this actually happen. Historic, I don't know, but milestone, yeah. Incredible piece of tech and art kind of blended together, yeah. Historic, I don't know. Did OSF have a take? What did OSF say? But yeah, this piece is stunning. And this was a milestone last year, right? Last summer when we had the Goose sale and the Monument game sold. I love this, dude. This is so cool. This is so cool. I don't, this would be so much work. I'm trying to get to the final piece here. This would be so much work to do outside of the blockchain to, kind of organize things and have the secondary market, which is kind of necessary for these things to kind of build their lore, their legacy. It'd be really hard to do this outside of the blockchain, outside of this community, this space. But again, going back to, is it historic? I don't think so. It's why I'm saying very few pieces here are historic. Maybe this will in the long run, right? If it was, as it continues to build up its lore, this could become historic. But right now, no. Very little of what we're seeing is historic. I think Beanie had another take I wanted to touch on. Hang on. I love Beanie, man. I want him to come on this show so bad. Beanie, bro, if you're watching, dude. Okay, honestly, I want you on weekly, 5-10 minutes, like once a week. But just once is cool, man. Come on the show. I don't normally geek out over followers, but this is one of my favorite follows. I'm sorry, I know that's cringe, but I like Beanie. I've liked Beanie for years. Yeah, I like this take too. The idea that folks are going to flock to museums. This is a silly take. The idea that people are going to flock to museums to look at NFTs on TV screens is absurd. It is fucking absurd. Right? The whole point of this is it's more convenient and accessible. Man, you're going to be looking at this in your VR headset, which I've done, dude. I've put my Xan cans up in front of me in VR. It's magic. It's magic. I've put my Rafik Anadol on TV, on my TV. It's awesome. Right? No, people aren't going to museums for this shit, but they're going to go to the metaverse. I know that's also like kind of a cringy buzzword still too, but they are going to the metaverse. It's like Punk6529 says, like memes are like, what is he? How does he say it? Like memes are like land, right? The memes themselves, it's almost like these moments getting tokenized and like owning that moment, owning that meme. It's the same as like owning land in a way. It's owning like a section of attention. I think he's spot on. But yeah, I think these pieces of art, the digital art, these NFT artworks, they'll populate metaverses, and it's going to be awesome. So maybe you're going to go and visit a specific metaverse because they have this specific piece on display. And it's the original, right? It's the original because, I guess, you know, maybe that's stupid because anywhere you could point to any token on the blockchain and like kind of put it on display. But I guess the cool thing is it'll always point back to the original. I don't know. Metaverses, though. That's where you're going to go view this art. Now to Brian's point here, Rafik Anadol being the counterpoint to this, Beanie's right. It is different. That was an experience. That was this giant-ass, like, living, breathing digital painting. It's just like the paint splashing around, that Winds of Yamanawa stuff, and not even just that. What was it? The Machine Hallucinations, I think it was called. Man, those are some wild collections. Seeing those in a museum would be something. What is that? Brandon Murphy Bungie project? I don't know what that is. Oh my goodness, dude! I have spent some time looking at that over on Nifty Gateway and Zoom. It is mind blowing, dude. It is a mind blowing piece of art. Mind blowing. OSF's art. Gotcha. Okay.
Each one of them.
Yeah.
Got into my world.
That's interesting, dude. I never considered. You know what's funny? I didn't realize until his collection on Blast. I didn't really realize that OSF was an artist. Like, right? We're like, I saw Wrecked Guy and never really like. This is stupid. As somebody who understands art comes in so many different shapes and forms and whatever, I just never considered OSF an artist. But then I learned again through his Blast collection, he is an artist. He is, and I love this guy. Like, dude. Okay, Thread Guy made a point. I think last week he said like, Twitter people are the new celebrities, are the new rappers, are the new like athletes. Kind of a weird take, right? Like, man, kind of a weird take. I will say, kind of in that vein, I think artists are the new rock stars. I believe that still. X-Copy's a rock star. X-Copy's a goddamn rock star. So, I mean, I think that. I think there's something very, very true there. These artists, especially, like these glitch artists especially, like I can pick different artists feel like a different flavor of music, right? Like, okay, Sam Spratt feels like he is a composer, right? Like a brilliant composer. X-Copy feels like he's what? Like a fucking DJ or a punk rock, like a punk rocker, right? All these different artists have these different like kind of like musical styles that I'd kind of relate them to. But I really think digital artists now are the new rock stars because they become kind of celebrities. They're famous for their output, for their creativity. It reminds me very much of rock stars. You know what I mean? Dude, thank you so much. Dude or ma'am, thank you. Like, super, super appreciate that. Glitch is... Dude, it's really funny you say that because grunge is... Like, I grew up I was born in 1980. Grunge was like my favorite music, like 90s rock. Pearl Jam is like my favorite band. Was, but you know, like always like that's in my heart, like the band I always connected with. And glitch art is the number one thing that resonates with me. I'll show you my favorite artist too. I'll show you my absolute favorite artist, which is a glitch artist. It's funny you said that, man. It's really funny you said that. Hey Derokit is my favorite artist. He's a phenomenal fucking glitch artist. Let me get to his actual account. There we go. But it's funny you make that association with grunge. I never put it together, but there's clearly something there. Right? Like, man, he's just awesome. So grunge rock is like kind of what's in my soul, and this is the kind of art that this is awesome. This is the art that I connect with. That's a really, really good point, man. Rough but shiny, dude. Yes, and I'd always say it just tickles my brain. You know, like everybody says they have ADHD. Everybody says it, right? I got proof. I was on Ritalin as a kid. I remember being in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade on Ritalin, and man, I've always had like I'm just like I could not pay attention in school. This stuff does it for me. This like just captures my attention. It makes me. I look at this kind of stuff, and it's like this sensory overload thing. It makes me just smile. It's like one of the few times I don't feel overloaded. I feel like laser focused on it. Glitch Art just does that. He's so awesome, dude. He's so like just my favorite dude. Kind of mixes up his style here and there. He's just cool. He's done some designs for MTV. He's the first person, this guy, Hudah Rocket, first guy to ever feature X-Copy in a gallery. They came up from the same scene. There was like this Tumblr glitch art scene right before NFTs. These guys just shared their work on Tumblr. So they came from the same little community, same circle. Hudah Rocket put together this gallery, this IRL show, and X-Copy was featured in it. First time X-Copy was ever featured in a gallery. They don't like each other now, or I could at least say, like, Hudah Rocket doesn't like X-Copy. Like, it's one of those things, like, dude got so big, and maybe there's a little jealousy there. I don't know exactly what it's all about, but it's pretty good. It's interesting. The older Hudah Rocket stuff was my favorite. These really weird-ass collages. In fact, I should just sort by oldest here. God, I want to keep going here, by the way. I've got to get to writing my newsletter, but here, let me just go sort oldest. Oldest. I got to show you, though. His collages are like, dude, not controversial. Dude, Kool-Aid, I'd love to hear why. Not controversial, though. His art does not really resonate with me. I'd love to hear your take, by the way. Him as a person, I love the dude. I think he's the coolest motherfucker. This is one of my favorites. I minted like 50 of these, and every year I'd give them. Oh, dude, I forgot. On 420 every year for the past 2 years, I've been giving these away, and I totally forgot. I probably have got like 5 left. I don't even remember at this point. Let me look. I would give these away each year. I told Hudah Rocket when I bought him up, I'm like, dude, I'm going to give you, I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. I think I said I was going to send him one every year. It was something like that. Let me see how many of these I have still. Oh, this is me right here. I've got 6 of them left, or 5 of them left. Like, just awesome. Okay, X-Copy. I think his art's cool as fuck. It doesn't resonate with me, but again, I think him and what he means for the space and his influence, hate to compare him to, well, no, I will compare him to CryptoPunks. There's something very similar there. He's just influenced the culture. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm not a fan of Pac or Pac or whatever his name is. Definitely with you there. Oh, thank you guys. Dude, I never even mentioned during the show, but yes, guys, please, at this point, don't even bother sharing. No, you can share. People can go watch after the fact. But yeah, guys, it does help a ton if you like the show and if you share the show, and just make sure you're subscribed at least. If you're on YouTube, of course, SlamX Official. If you're watching here, yeah, just make sure you click the little subscribe button. Give it a little thumbs up. It helps a ton. I really noticed it helps a ton. Views go way up when people give it likes. I think even dislikes help, whatever. But yeah, dude, just like Jared came on now for art, and he's going to come on weekly here. And it's up to him if he wants to stay for the whole episode, if he wants to come do a 5-10 minute segment. Awesome. Just happy, just honored to have the dude. But I'm going to get that for a lot of different sectors here in the space. I'm going to have a little crypto segment with a guest that'll come on and talk crypto, maybe the macro, maybe we'll get into the micro stuff. And I want some of the major projects out there to come in and check in, whether it's every other week, maybe once a month, but come give us a 5-minute update on your project. And I'm talking some of the biggest ones out there I would love to get. I would love to get somebody from Bored Apes coming on, 5-minute update on their project. Like, I don't want to waste their time. I want them to come in and say what's up, share what's going on. So, Brendan Murphy NFT. Huh. Is that new, current? Is that like something older? Oh, no shit. That's a bummer, Kool-Aid. That's a bummer, dude. Man, we didn't get to half of what I wanted to, but that's okay. We never have really an agenda here, right? The goal is to just kind of talk about I mean, mostly whatever's going on, but also whatever we want to talk about. So didn't get into Bitcoin. Well, it gives us stuff to talk about on the afternoon show, and that is coming up at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time today. Cool stuff here, like ICBC. It's the world's largest bank. Bitcoin solves problems of divisibility and the convenience to carry kind of thing. Man, major statements. Something's changing, dude. This kind of is the flip side of, well, no, this goes hand in hand with what Hillary Clinton said just a couple days ago, saying Bitcoin is dangerous. It threatens nations. Yeah, we know it does. That's why we freaking love it. That's why we love it. Very exciting stuff here. At the same time that, right, this is less exciting, but also this is why we don't care. This is why we look at this and we don't care. Because of comments like this. It's all different now. Everything has changed. It's a very exciting time to be in crypto. And man, just be thankful you're in it now, not after. You know what I mean? Now still kind of early. Less early than it was a couple years ago, but now still early enough that you can appreciate being early. You can appreciate it because you feel what the other side's going to look like, right? You can feel it. It's much more tangible now. That other side when these guys are in, when these guys control the supply. And by the way, they do. The ETFs now hold 5% of the supply of Bitcoin. 5%. That is just going to grow and grow and grow. And soon, these guys, all these financial institutions, countries, nations, states, whatever, they're going to control almost the entire supply of Bitcoin. It's going to get very different out there. Very different. Accumulate what you can. Be very choosy with where you spend it. I still am spending on ordinals and runes because I look at that as the only way to mine Bitcoin for myself, right? So I'm focused on that stuff for now. There will become a point where that stuff's locked away. Just locked, not being spent, put away somewhere. That's how it's going to go. All right, one look through comments here, then I'm going to bounce. Man, I got to be honest, I don't like writing. I really don't. I've been doing this newsletter for over 3 years now, every week. I always love when it's done. I always enjoy the newsletter. I'm not a writer. But, got to do it. There's times I get in like that flow state and then I really enjoy writing then, but it's hard to get in that state sometimes. Are we talking Xcopy there with the Wayback Machine? It's possible. I'll tell you, like, he's a really good dude. In a few, like, smaller, like, group chats with him, he's always been accessible. He's always replied to DMs. He's always been nice. I know other guys who, like, there's a lot of us who met through NFT boxes early on and have become friends. And I've got some friends that talk with him, like, at a very personal level. Like, he's a very real dude, very, again, accessible. And I think art is just, man, a cool reflection of his personality. Like, he's just a wild, different dude. And I love everything about it. There you go. Okay, I like that. Wizard Rune. Is that from like Forgotten Runeverse? Is that from like the like Bitcoin Wizards or whatever they're called? Or is that just like some random ass rune? Wizard Rune 16 minting today. Let's peek at that and then we'll wrap. Oh, wow. Dude, feel free to share a link to yours. They're a commitment. How's this one doing? I did buy on secondary. I can't remember if I did that live, but I did buy Cook the Meme mempool. Man, I don't remember how to sort this site here at all. Whatever. Yeah, I think we'll call it there. Dude, but yeah, Archivio, if you want, drop a link to your newsletter here. Curious what your topics are, but yeah, drop it here, share. And let me think anything else. I guess just a reminder that me and the freaking boys, Did somebody post that they were the person? I saw it sell, but what?
Do you know what's interesting? Oh, go ahead, Joe.
I love these boys.
I'm kind of just gonna piggyback off of that.
Joe, Henry,
Right about that, like,
and myself, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Still no name for the show, man. We'll get it one of these days, but no name. The afternoon show for now.
is that
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. I think that's awesome.
Is that if dog
But yeah, drop a link here, or even drop it in the comments on the video.
and it will make a positive.
Oh, very cool. Okay, dude, feel free to DM that to me too if you want. I'm curious, but yeah, I'll do some digging later and find it. Good stuff though, guys. Okay, 4:30 afternoon show, 4:30 Eastern time. Plenty to talk about that we didn't get to today. So we'll talk about it in the afternoon show. We'll talk about it tomorrow. All kinds of fun stuff going on. Guys, I hope your day is freaking fantastic. I really do. Appreciate you tuning in and joining. It was a blast to talk about art. Man, for real, like a blast to talk about art. I've been missing that. So had a really good time. Guys, enjoy your day. Sign up for the newsletter. Go to cryptoslam.io. We'll see you freaking tomorrow. See ya. This afternoon, I mean. See ya.
Oh,